My name is Federica, part of the Doc City team, and I'd like to welcome you all to this BI Norwegian Business School program. Tonight we will be talking about the Bachelor programs, and I leave the floor to Wafa. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Federica. So, I think I need to press here first.
Yeah,
there we go. As she said, my name is Wafa. I've worked at BI for many years. I'm also a BI alumni, so I have my degree from here. I've worked here for more than 10 years, and I work with international recruitment in the marketing and recruitment department. And with me, I have Amanda.
Hi, my name is Amanda. I'm from Taiwan, and I'm currently in the second year of a Master of Science in Business Analytics, but I also had a bachelor degree from BI, so I did the BBA program. So I'll be able to share my experience with you guys later today.
Great. I'm very happy to have Amanda because she can share with you the student perspective. So we're going to talk about why Norway and why BI. We're going to also talk a bit about the programs and the opportunities you have within the programs, some practical information about how to apply, the prices and the housing, and in the end there will be a Q&A. So why choose Norway?
So I basically chose Norway because of the amazing nature and also for the work-life balance. So like before you come to Norway, or like right now, you probably already have an image like what you think about Norway, and that is like the main reason why I decided to come here. And then of course Norway also has like other benefits, like it's a green capital, it has very good public transportation. Oslo is I would say medium size of city compared to a lot of country, but then depends on what you like. That this size is actually perfect for me. You get the nature, you get the city aspect. The education quality is also good. It's the happiest country to live in, so I mean, why not? It's safe. So I mean, if you are really curious about how a Scandinavian country looks like, how Norway looks like, then it's a good chance to actually live there for a few years to experience by yourself.
So, and why should you choose BI? Well, BI is an internationally accredited school, meaning that the degree you get from BI is recognized internationally, depending on if you want to continue with your master's at another academic institution or if you want to apply for a job. So BI has the 3 accreditations, and less than 1% of business schools in the world have this type of accreditation. And it's a testament to the quality of the institution, and it tells you a lot about how international it is. We do guarantee housing for international students, meaning you can easily transition to Oslo and you don't need to search for your own housing on the private market. Amanda will talk a little bit more about the housing later.
Yeah.
BI, we strive to be an international school. There is an international environment at the campus. We are research focused, meaning that what you learn in the classroom is up to date and current. It's possible to customize your degree. You can do exchange, you can do internship, you can do elective courses. For the BBA program, you can do a track in the 3rd year. You can, Amanda will talk a little bit more about that as well. And BI has strong ties to the business community and a strong tie to with companies. This is a good thing for the students because a lot of companies come to recruit from BI. We focus a lot on employability, meaning landing a job when you're done with your education, either if it's a bachelor or a master's degree. We have a lot of focus on that. There are recruitment fairs at the school. On a weekly basis, there are companies that are visiting the school that want to get in touch with our students. And we also have a career service center that helps students prepare for interviews, write their CVs. There is a portal that where we post positions. So there's a lot of focus on this. And also student life. As Amanda said, in Norway, we care a lot about work-life balance, but also when you're a student. The student life is more than just studying. It's also getting friends for life, experiencing the city, the nightlife. You know, you can get engaged in the student unions. There's a lot of different associations you can be active in. So we care a lot about that aspect as well. At BI, we offer 2 programs in English. It's the Bachelor in Business Administration and a Bachelor in Business Analytics. And we also have a foundation year pathway program together with Internship University, and there are 2 tracks. So we're going to tell you a little bit more about the programs, starting with the BBA.
So the BBA program is 100% taught in English. It's very international. So every year we have around 100 plus students coming from different parts of the world. I think on average it's probably 50 plus nationalities. So you will have maybe 1 or 2 students from each country. Of course, there are going to be countries like the US or Germany that we get a little bit more students from, but then you get to know really like friends and classmates from all over the world. So I think that's a very good part about the BBA program. It's super international. And normally it's like 60% international, and then there are also 40% Norwegian students. So you will also get to know locals, but then it's not purely local. So you will also find people like you coming from a different place and then studying alone in Norway. There are 3 different specializations that you can take. So the first 2 years you will take classes with all of your classmates together, which covers more like statistics, math, these kind of general courses. But then in the 3rd year, you get to customize your degree a bit more. There are 3 different specializations that you can choose from, which is finance, international business, and shipping management. So it depends on your interest and also what kind of career you want in the future. You get to choose what you like, and it's guaranteed that you get to what you want. So there is no fixed number for only, okay, finance, we have 10 students, 20 students. You can choose based on your interest. So that's a good thing. You don't need to worry about that. Yeah. So we can go to the next one, which is, so the next program is Business Analytics. It's also 100% taught in English. Compared to the BBA, it's a slightly smaller class with around 40 students per year. It has a focus more on data and quantitative subjects. So if you are interested in heading into learning a bit of the programming language, being a bit more number oriented, then this program will be perfect. And actually right now we see quite a lot of demand on people who have these kind of skill set. So it's perfect. And we also have a master in business analytics, but that doesn't mean that if you choose BBA, you will not be able to enter this master. So both degree will allow you to go into our master program. But then if you are very, very sure that this is what you want, and you will get a very good foundation before your master. So this is one of the plus. But then if you are not so sure and you wanted to have more general idea of how different area works, for example, you wanted to know a little bit more about finance, you wanted to know a bit more about shipping, then it's actually good to have that kind of mix. So you will have more of the quantitative in the master level, but then you will have a very good business general idea on different sectors. So both of them are good. It's really depending on how you wanted to, what kind of knowledge you wanted to have and what kind of background you wanted to have before you enter into work.
Absolutely. And I normally say to students, like, you know, if you look at the BBA program, that's more of a general degree. If you don't know what you want to study, you keep your options open in a way. It's like it's a very general degree where you can choose many different types of masters and specialize much more on the master level. Of course, the Bachelor in Business Analytics, it also gives you a very good foundation in business, because we want you to have, you know, a foot in 2 worlds. We want you to have the business foundation, but we want you to have that data science part as well. So you will have, but the business analytics degree is more quantitative than the BBA program. Although you can choose to specialize in finance, which is also very quantitative. And BI is considered to be very strong in finance. We're ranked quite high. Our department of finance is ranked quite high in terms of research. And also our programs, our master programs that are ranked internationally, from the finance department also ranked very high. So we're quite good in finance.
Yeah. So both programs, you have a lot of different opportunities, and you will all have elective courses that you can choose from. So other than the business analytics, like data oriented, you can also cross to marketing or finance, even if you're in a business analytics program. So elective course give you that kind of options to explore a little bit outside of what you have in your program. At the same time, there's an exchange program. So we do have a lot of partner schools, like 200 plus partner schools that you can choose from. And it happens in the sixth semester.
I think it's the sixth semester.
So it's last semester. Yeah, but then for the BBA students, if you wanted to do exchange, then you have to choose international business as your specialization. So which kind of makes sense if you wanted to explore a little bit, and then it kind of give you a good, like I think, feature on your CV that you have international experience. But of course, if you come from abroad, you are in Norway already. Yeah. Both programs, you can do BI internship. It also happens in your sixth semester, and if you're really ambitious, you can also combine that with the exchange. So it's really up to you, like what you wanted to do. The internship will run for 1 semester. So you can find your own, or you can also go through the BI career portal. There are quite a lot of opportunities for bachelor students, but I think the most important thing is actually you need to have the effort to apply and have the courage to actually step out of the comfort zone and then start sending out your CV. And also, after your study, you can enter into a master program. So we have already mentioned BI do have a lot of different master program, and both bachelor will give you equal opportunities of enter into the master program. Doesn't matter which background you have. So the most important thing is that during your bachelor you need to have a good grade. So average B is the minimum requirement for entering into master at BI. Yeah. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the practical part, like admission. For some students, they will need a +1 year of higher education. That's because of the system difference between Norway and some other countries. So in Norway, you normally have 13 years of education before you enter a bachelor. But for some countries, it's only 12 years. That's why you need the +1 year. But then for IB students, then you don't need that +1 year. So you will need to check based on where you are from, what kind of system you are in, and that information is online, right? Like you can find it on.
Yeah, you can contact us if you're unsure if you qualify directly or not. It really depends on which country you're from. It's not up to BI. This is regulated by the authorities in Norway. So we have a list that we reference all the time. It's called NOKUT. So it really depends on which country you're from, the educational system in your country. So if you need a 1-year program, there is an opportunity of taking the 1-year pathway program. BI offers the foundation year together with Jönköping University in Jönköping. It's in Grana in Sweden. You can choose 2 different tracks. You can choose the English track or the general track. And when you enter into the pathway program, you have a conditional admission to BI. This is a way of entering BI. You can improve your English and then transition to BI, and you will have that connection to BI throughout your year at Grana, or you can do 1 year at an academic institution equivalent to 1 year of studies. We say it should be then 60 ECTS. It doesn't really matter what you study as long as you can show that you've studied for 1 year at an institution that is accredited. And then as part of the admissions at BI, there is also a need for you to have an English test, the TOEFL or the IELTS. That's the 6.0 is the minimum requirement. The admission process is quite
simple and straightforward.
Yeah, I think I would say it's quite simple. Everything is digital. I think it's also because Norway in general, it's a very digital society. Everything that can be simplified is simplified. So the application process is really straightforward. There is no fee for applying. The portal opens mid-November, and then it's really just following the steps. Everything is online. I think you have experience of that.
So for those who are interested already, I would recommend start collecting your documents, because everything is already listed online, like what you need. And if you need an English test, you still have time to sign up for one and prepare for one. Basically, what you need is your high school diploma, and if you don't, you can always ask your school to provide you a document saying that, okay, this person will finish high school by next year. And when you actually get that, then you'll get you will be able to basically you are able to apply before you graduate. So it's very simple. And also the English test that you will need, your transcript. What else do you need for that?
Motivation letter?
Motivation letter, yeah. And then also probably a CV or something. I'm not so sure.
No CV.
No CVs.
No
okay,
CV,
no
motivation
CV for bachelor
letter.
students,
Yeah.
All right. So it's very simple, and everything should be in English. So there are already some stuff that you can prepare right now, and by the time the portal is open, you can just apply directly. So everything is online. As long as you have internet, scan your documents, passport, get everything ready, and you will get a decision.
Yeah. And for IB diploma students, they don't need the 1 year, although IB students, they qualify directly. There's of course some requirements, but they don't need the 1 year.
So I can share a little bit about my experience studying at BI as a bachelor student. Like right now I'm a master student, but at BI, when you arrive, there are actually a lot of support. So although you come from abroad, you are going to be in a very international environment. You're going to be having classmates who are going through the same thing with you. So support, for example, you will have TA sessions. There are also learning assistant, like you see in the pictures, that they are at the libraries assisting you. So if you have any problem with any subjects, there's always someone there to help you. So those students, they are also students. They are not the TAs. They can be master students or students who are really great in grades. So they are there to help you, and then they understand your perspective because they are also a student, which is a very, very good thing. There are also a lot of societies that you can join. So that's one of the pictures that I joined, one of these society that they promote fun activities without drinking. So I think that's a good thing. Buddy Week is also definitely a thing that you should join. This year is a bit different, but normally you get to spend 1 week to get to your classmates, get to Norway, get to know Oslo. So it's 1 week of exploring the city and exploring the school. And this is the 1 week that you don't have to worry about studies before everything starts. But then it's definitely worth joining and then getting to know everyone else. At the same time, there's a lot of associations. So for BBA and Business Analytics, there are both associations who organize events, invite companies to come to school and then have lectures, also arrange parties, for example, Halloween party, Christmas party. Sometimes there's even trips going abroad. I think BBA do it every semester or every year. I'm not so sure right now. But yes, you travel to somewhere in Europe. I think the BBA associations, at least when I was studying, they have trips to Prague, trips to Budapest, also Copenhagen, I think. And they do visiting a local company and also get to know your classmates, not only from your year, from a third year, from a second year, and from first year. So it's a good mix. You get to know people from a different year, and it's just a lot of fun, a lot of things you can do while you're studying here.
And there's I think you can group the associations into different groups. There's the ones that are social, and then you have the ones that are professional.
Yes.
So if you want to know more about the stock market, there is a finance association. If you care about cooking, there is a cooking
Yes.
association. So there's like different based on, there's so many things to choose
Yeah,
from.
so there are more like program based, like this BBA ones, business analytics, so they focus a little bit more on bringing people from the same program together, like a big family. There are also those that Wafa mentioned, like focusing on specific area, like finance, what is this? Real estate, I think
Yeah,
there's
real
one,
estate,
and
yeah,
then stocks, all these kind of things. Personally, I have joined the case club, which kind of teach you the technique of solving a case, and there is also events that they invite companies from like EY, BCG to BI, and then have a like person more like close talk and interaction with this specific group of students. So it's definitely a great chance to get to know people from outside of your program, because it's for the whole school, so you will get to know master students from finance, master students from business analytics. You also get to know Norwegian students from like business administration. So very, very good chance to get to know people. As an international student, you are also allowed to work at least maximum 20 hours a week. So it is possible to have work alongside of your study.
Yeah, it depends where you're from. So if you're from Europe, you can work as much as you want. There is no restriction. If you're from outside of Europe and you hold a student permit, you can work up to 20 hours per week.
Yes.
And as much as you want during the holidays.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's actually a very good thing, because I think 20 hours a week, if you think about it, it doesn't sound that much. But then while you are studying and then having all these things alongside, 20 hours a week is actually quite a lot. During my time here, like during my bachelor, I'm working around 15 to 20 hours per week. And the pay in Norway is actually quite good. So as a student working that amount, it's enough to cover your living cost. So for housing and, eating, cooking, grocery, those kind of stuff. As long as you don't go to bars and drinks all the time, because alcohol is very expensive in Norway. But then if you live a sustainable life, like you know your budget, you know what you can spend and what you cannot, I think it's definitely enough to cover.
Yeah. I think Norway is relatively to many other countries, there are a few things that are expensive in Norway, and that's because they're taxed heavily, because they are considered not good for you. So Amanda mentioned alcohol. That's considered not being good for your health. So it's taxed heavily, as is smoke.
Yeah. Also, eating out is quite expensive.
Eating out, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as a student, the student housing that you have will have a kitchen, so it's actually very good to cook. BI also has like a canteen, and there's microwave, so if you want to bring your own food, a lot of people do that. You bring your own food and heat it up at school. So there's a lot of things that you can do to like work and then make sure that you are able to finance yourself like while studying in Norway. Working is also a very good chance to expand your network. Like I get to know a lot of people. So in this picture, I think this is my first year when I started in Norway. I actually get to know quite a lot of Norwegian friends, and when you actually are applying for internship and applying for a job, they appreciate that you are trying to integrate with the society, and then they appreciate that you have the experience of working in Norway, just to get to know the culture a bit more. So I think it's actually a plus for bachelor students to go out, and then if you are able to maintain a good grades while you study, it's not a bad thing. I think it's very, very good. At the same time, like travel is a big part of being abroad. Norway is amazing for its nature. So if you really love nature and then also wanted to see, I mean, you can travel to Europe very easily. There's also a lot of places where you can visit in Norway. So hiking, working out in the nature, it's a very, very common thing. It's actually like I found it very easy to connect to people through topics like traveling and through topics like work. Like not so much about the school and subject itself. Actually, you need something to make the connection between you and then the next person. So I think having a little bit of experience outside of school is actually good. Association is also a very good thing because you are expanding your interest, and then that is also some talking points that you can use for later on when you are finding a job or working. So,
And I think a lot of people, like in the beginning when they come to Norway, they're maybe not used to that type of nature. And I see that a lot of people, a lot of students, they start hiking, they start skiing, cross-country ski. So they explore a lot of that type of activities. And I think, as you said, that helps you kind of integrate in the society as well.
Yeah, and Norwegians love doing that. So, I mean, it's a good way to experience the culture as well.
Yeah. It's very outdoorsy type of culture in Norway. Not everyone, but it's and there are many ways that you can do it very cheap in Norway. There are places where you can borrow stuff. There's places where you can get stuff quite cheap or use stuff, because Norwegians, they change their stuff, like, you know, they buy new things all the time. So a lot of students, they buy it very cheap online.
Yeah, there's this online website that you can use to, I mean, if you're here for 3 years, why not to experience a little bit? Yeah.
So and the travel, and I think with the travel as well, that it's so close to many other countries. It's not, you know, you have London that is very close. You have Paris. It's like the gateway to the rest of Europe as well.
And you're like the school, at least the bachelor programs are in Oslo, so it's the capital. You have very, very good connection to other places. So it's not like you need to travel 2 hours away just to get to the airport. Yeah,
it's very well connected. So some practical information. You are guaranteed housing as a student at BI as long as you apply within the deadline, which is May 1st. Housing in Norway has quite a high standard, and it's subsidized by the government. So it's very wise to apply for housing through the school. Because if not, then you would have to look at the private market, which is not advised. And you live in student housing, right?
I live in a student housing.
Yeah.
So it's very convenient. The one that I chose, there are so many options that you have. So if you wanted to live more in the center, there's something for you. Personally, I chose to live closer to BI, so it's like 7 minutes by foot. And where BI is located is actually very, very convenient. You have all type of transportation connecting here. So you have bus, you have tram, you have metro like Teban. And then there is also a big shopping mall nearby. So basically you have everything, and then there's a river like right next to the school. So that's why I chose to live closer to school, and it's an area that is perfect. So I don't see it as a like if you wanted to live more or less in the center, like it's also fine. Like Oslo is not super big. You can get to school with public transportation within 30 minutes. If you live a little bit further away, I mean, if you're from the center, then that's like what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Really, it's really good public transportation, and that is also subsidized for students, so they pay half the price for this monthly card, and I think it's around 35 euros, and you can use public transportation then as much as you want, and a lot of the public transportation is also offered at night. So even if you are downtown partying and you need to go back to the Nydalen area where BI is located, there is the bus.
There's a 24-hour bus.
There's a 24-hour bus. So public transportation is very good.
So it really depending on where you wanted to live, what kind of student housing, how many people you want to share with. Like the one I have is just a standard one, so I just have one roommate, and that is, I think, most common type, I would say. And you always get your own room, so you're just sharing the kitchen and the common area.
Yes, we value our private life. Norwegians are very private,
very, very.
So we would never share a room. So every student has their own room. It really depends on what kind of dormitory you choose. For some dormitories, you share the bathroom. Some have bathroom in their room, and then they just share the common area. Some people share the common area with one other person. Some share with 5 other people. It really depends on which option you choose and which location, because there's so much to choose from.
Yeah, and some is like the one I stayed in is only for BI students, so I only share with BI students, and they tend to put people who are kind of with a similar like at least grade, not grade wise, but like if you're in a first year bachelor, they normally put you with a first-year bachelor students. But of course, sometimes they will mix. But most of the cases like that, at least in the one I stayed in. And then the other type, you actually get to meet people from all different schools from Oslo.
Yes.
So that's also a good thing, that you get to know someone from UiO or from this Oslo Met. Yeah. So it's a lot of options to choose.
And in Norway, you are covered by the Norwegian health system when you're a student and you have a student permit. In terms of budgeting for living expenses, we say that you need between 9,000 to 10,000 kroners per month. This is it really depends on how your standard of living, but this should cover housing, food, and transportation for a student. I think you would live a comfortable life as a student.
I would say that's already pretty good life for a student, because housing can, it also really depends. I think this amount, including housing, right?
Yes.
And housing price can differ a lot depending on the room type that you choose. How many people you choose from. I think that's the main factor.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And other than that, do you want to go to the gym? And then do you live close to school? Do you need to buy this monthly student ticket?
Yeah, and also the gym, there are gym options where you can get it quite cheap through CU because you're a student. So there's a lot of discounts for students. The tuition fee is approximately 86,000 Norwegian kroners. I think that amounts for, in euros, I think it's around 10 kroners. So I think it's
normally take away 10. So,
10. So it's approximately 8,600 euros. And there is no application fee for applying. We do have some scholarships.
Yes. So for the bachelors, we have two types of scholarship. One is IB scholarship for IB students only. So if you study in this system, then that kind of scholarship covers 100% tuition fee. And we also have another scholarships for all the other students who is not in the IB system, which covers 50% of the tuition fee. And application is also very easy. While you are applying, just attach one more of the application letter.
Yeah, it's like a motivational letter for the scholarship.
Yeah, so everything else is the same as normal application, just that you need to have this letter.
Yeah, it's done in the same system. It's very easy. It's very intuitive.
But then for the scholarship, you will need to apply before March 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the most important thing for those who are interested in a scholarship.
Yeah. So you need to apply before March 1st. Other students, if you're not applying for the scholarship, you can apply up until school starts. Given that there are room for us to admit more students, we are accepting students up until the semester starts. So we start from November 15th accepting applications up until the program starts.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. And this is our contact information. If you want to send us an email or that's WeChat and
that is the blog.
Oh, that's a blog. Yes, we have a blog, and it's called Life at BI, where students share their experiences.
Yes.
And
if you like, the Life at BI blog it's more like articles. So if you wanted to read more about their experiences, you can go on there. But then if you want a bit more of the social aspect, then we do it a lot on Life at BI Instagram. So there will be students sharing their experience at internship or at work or at school in class for different programs all the time. And there's a lot of pictures, so you can go and visit. Yes.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your presentation. And we do actually have a lot of questions, so we will try to go through them all. One of the first questions that we received is actually they're wondering if the program will be face-to-face or it will be virtual, given probably the situation as well.
So right now at BI, in Norway, the situation is quite good compared to many other countries. So it is possible this year for students that are abroad to follow the education from abroad, although we have encouraged international students to come to Norway if they could. The Norwegian government issued visas and allowed for students this year to enter their country. and students were prioritized. And it's difficult for us to say how it will be the next year, but we want students to be on campus. We want them to experience the whole, the whole experience of being a student at BI, the student life. We have an amazing city campus. We have an amazing library. We want you to take part in society. So we want you to come, of course, and this year it was permitted, and hopefully, things will be moving in the positive directions. We don't know how things will develop. Students that came to Norway, they had to quarantine for 10 days in their student housing, and after that they could come to campus.
Great. Another question is actually about the programs. So they want to know what is the main difference of those two programs, and what about the job opportunities after graduate? Probably someone who's not sure about which one to pick.
Yeah, it's difficult to say what kind of program will lead to what type of career, but the BBA program, it's more of a general degree. Which gives you many opportunities. It's a quite general business education, while the business analytics program, you learn a lot of programming. You learn business and also the programming, and right now programming, people who have the programming, it's a trend right now. Yeah. People who have programming skills are very sought after on the job market. At BI, well, in Norway in general, the job market is good. Of course, we are also facing that people are being laid off, and companies have been closed down and all of that. But relatively, I think the Norwegian society is recovering quite fast, and people are still hiring professions that is just got a job. Yeah. So the job market is, people are still recruiting.
And if you really wanted to know exactly what is the difference, I would recommend visiting the website, so you can actually see what kind of courses is taught. It's like clearly stated, okay, you can compare the two. I think they both have math. Yeah. But then it's slightly different in the BBA math and then the business analytics math. But then that's the basics one. I'm sure they both have accounting.
Yes.
And then microeconomics.
Yeah, those they have both of them have the business foundation.
Yes.
Well, the BBA allows for you to specialize within an area of business, while the business analytics is more within an area of analytics. Yes. I think that's the main difference, I would say.
And then consider like BBA, the first 2 years everyone is the same, and then the third year you choose a specialization. And then business analytics, you can just think that as your specialization is in analytics.
It's a more specialized degree in general.
So you will not get to choose to finance or international business or shipping, because you are already in the business analytics program.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. We also have some question about the practical aspect of those programs. So one is asking, does someone get practically involved in the program? And someone else is also asking about internship. So asking if you are collaborating with some companies, and if so, it would be only in Oslo or also somewhere else?
So the practical, I mean, like, you will hands-on use the tools. So you will learn these tools that in the business analytics program, the programming language and the software that's incorporated into the class. In terms of internship for the bachelor programs, you need to find the company yourself. There's some that are advertised, but then you contact the companies yourself, where you find an internship that is of interest to you.
Yes, I think it doesn't matter which level you are in both in bachelor and master. If you want to do an internship as part of your course, you need to find it by yourself. There are opportunities that BI posted on our career portal, so it's kind of like a cooperation between a company with BI, so they put positions there, and then they say, okay, we are looking for 3 students from BI. It gives you a slightly higher chances, because basically it's a set number that they are looking from BI, so you don't have competition coming from different schools, which is a good thing. So you still need to send out CV, you still need to send out like this cover letter to these companies. So BI will not just hand you a internship. Yeah. So you need to do that by yourself. But then once the company has agreed, like, yes, we want you, all you need to do is apply.
Yeah. And a lot of companies, they do the internship to kind of find candidates for hiring. So it's a good way to enter into a company, and you get hands-on practical experience in the company. And we make it very clear also to the employers that this is a person that you're not supposed to be there to make the coffee. You're supposed to be a part of the meetings. You're supposed to be tasked with like real job tasks.
Yeah. So I did an internship in my bachelor in the last semester, which is relating to marketing. So you just need to. I contacted this company. It's not from the career portal. I think I just contacted that by myself and saying that, hey, like, you bring out this proposal, we can do an internship as part of our course. I'm interested in this area. It is an unpaid internship. Like, that's kind of, I think in the bachelor level they are a little bit stricter on that. So they want it to be more of a learning experience, because once the company start paying you, if you don't deliver anything, like, there is a risk of that they're like disappointing. But then if it is like a learning contract, which is part of your course, then they understand like purely that, yes, you are a student, you are learning, like, you are here to learn. I'm not paying you because they want you to deliver. So there is a different mindset on that. But then in the master level, I think it's a slightly differently. But
and I think a lot of companies, they take in students to basically, to see if they want to, if there's potential for training them and hiring them.
Yes. So it's always a good chance to get to know the company, and you actually get to know how to apply your knowledge from theory to actual life.
And that's the purpose of the internship.
Yes, that's the purpose of the internship.
Great, thank you. We have a question from Francesco, who is asking if it's okay to have the Cambridge as an English test. This is valid.
Yes, that's valid. I don't remember exactly what the score needs to be, but it's listed online. If you look at the tests and language requirements, it's listed the level for the Cambridge test.
Perfect, thank you. Another question is about the basically the admission process. So Martina was asking if there are some exam that someone should pass to enter, or if it's just like an interview, like you explained before, like what are the actual steps. And talking about this, there is a question for Amanda about any tips for the application and for the motivational letter.
So there is no interview, because we looked strictly at the admission papers that you hand in. And the other question was
tips for
applying. Tips, but it's like a very, very simple application process. There is we don't look at any work experience, because this is this is a bachelor program. There's no specific tests that you need to take. We have that for masters, but we don't have that for bachelors. So we basically look at your education from your high school. And if you're required to take that 1 year, we look at that as well.
I would say basically follow what the requirements that we have listed online. And if it asks you to write it in English, write it in English. As long as you have all the documents ready and not missing anything important, I think you are fine. Like, it's all depending on the documents that you submitted. Yeah. So put in, after writing your motivation letter and then collecting your all of your transcript, make it easy for us to read. I think that's basically it. I mean, in the master level, I think it's a bit more demanding, but then in the bachelor level, I think it's very straightforward and clear. So as long as you do everything right, there's no reason for us to return your application.
And you can keep the motivation letter simple. I mean, it's basically just us wanting to know, what is your motivation? Why did you choose BI? Why do you want to come to Norway? Just like, keep it very simple. Just share your thoughts on why you're making this choice.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Another question is about the background. So if someone doesn't come from, let's say, a quantitative background, is it still okay, for example, someone with a background of art to apply?
Yeah, as long as they have what is equivalent to a high school diploma. There are different types. It really depends on the country you're from. So we just look at the NOKUT, and they have listed the different types of diplomas there is. In Norway as well, we do have different type of specializations the within high school, and most of them qualify, but we can't say for sure before we have checked. So it really depends on what is set as the standard in that different country by the Norwegian government. Doesn't mean that arts, for example, is excluded. It's something that we just need to look into.
And also, like, since it's a bachelor degree, everyone starts, like, they start from the basics.
Yeah.
So as long as you have this high school degree, then it should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you start with the mathematics at, it starts at a basic level, but then it progresses. And I think, if you're going to do the business analytics degree, if you look at it like in details, you will see that the mathematics is a bit more advanced than the mathematics for the BBA. So if you really hate mathematics or you really hate quantitative subjects, you would really look at the courses and just make sure that you know what you're getting into, and you have the motivation to complete these courses.
Yeah. And at the same time, since all the students are from different part of the country, you probably know that in different part of the world you have different system in high school, the different difficulties in mathematics and science, in all these subjects. Before I came here, I actually thought that I hate math because it was so difficult back home. But then when I got here, I'll be like, oh, I actually like it. It's fun. It's interesting. So it's not as complicated as it is. So it really depends on where you're from. Just bear in mind that, I would say, be open-minded and don't close your options just because you think at home that, oh, I hate it. Yeah. But then, of course, if you really, really are sure, make that decision wisely. Yeah.
Yeah, and look at the courses, find out how motivated you are, and I think, the difference between when I was studying and now, it's there's so many offerings online. If there's anything you don't understand, it's so easy to look it up and have it easily explained on YouTube or whatever. So I think that it really it's about your background, but also about your motivation.
Yeah. I mean, the math that we are learning is it's more for supplementing the subjects that needs to do these calculations. For example, in accounting, you might need to know how to do, at least know how to do plus, minus, divide, these kind of things. But then in economics, like microeconomics, you might need to do a little bit more, a little bit harder math, like differentiation. And yeah, so just bear in mind the math itself, you're not going to be a
no, it's business. It's relevant for a business education.
Yes.
Yeah. It's giving you a good foundation to be able to be successful in accounting and finance and methodology courses.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect. There is another question about the application. So when can we start to apply for the next semester? I think we said it, but maybe we can remember one more time.
It's mid-November. That's when the application portal opens.
Perfect. And another question it will be about the how long does it take to have the bachelor degree? So basically, there's someone who has a diploma in business administration and a postgraduate diploma in sales and marketing. So I'd like to know how many year it takes for the bachelor degree.
Yeah. So in Norway, the system is 3-year bachelor degree and 2-year master degree. So that's how the system works here, and it's for the whole of Scandinavia.
Perfect. We do also have another question from Anish who's asking, in terms of the programs, we're talking about business administration, and she's asking about MBA, which of course is for experienced people, but what elements are in this program in terms of a bachelor degree?
So a BBA program, what distinguishes a BBA program? Is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. So he's asking about in terms of similarity, of course, not with the professional element involved, but in terms of like probably the subject that you study.
Mm. So I think the BBA program, the Bachelor of Business Administration, it's quite global. It's a program that is supposed to give you a good foundation within many different areas. So it's supposed to give you a kind of, uh, the breadth of many business courses. And you're supposed to have accounting, you're supposed to have finance, you're supposed to have methodology, and you need to have the mathematics and the statistics. And our program, it allows for you to specialize in your third year as well. But the purpose of a BBA program is to, let you to tap into like these different areas and then allow for you to specialize if you choose to do that for a master's degree. Uh, it cannot compare to an MBA program because an MBA program is supposed to develop you as a manager, as a leader. And for a BBA program, that's not where you are in life. This is more for you to kind of build your analytical skills, becoming a more critical person, more reflected. So this program is more targeted and more created for a younger audience.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I think it just gave you a like right now you're in high school, most of you probably, you know not so much about the business world, and BBA gives you a good understanding in different subjects. So after the BBA, it also gives you a lot of different opportunities. Like if you found yourself being super interested in statistics, you can go into master in statistics. For example, I did the specialization in finance. And I enter business analytics because I wanted to have more application aspect, and then also learning, having these programming skills. That's why I enter business analytics. But then it gives you the opportunity to try different, like you have the understanding of different subjects, but then it also gives you the opportunity to expand later on. So you can head into many different directions.
Perfect. Another question is about age limit. So how early can someone thinking about applying? And in case maybe someone after the diploma has like some year gaps, can they still apply? How does that work?
Yeah, that works, and that's quite common in Norway that people work for a couple of years, or they travel, or they used to travel. That you would have like a gap year to do that, and that's very common. So you wouldn't be, we see a range. There are people that are coming directly from high school, but there are also people who have taken a couple of gap years, and there's also some people who want to, take a new career path, that maybe studied something else and found out that that was not for them, and then they want to pursue a new education. So there is a wide range of people coming in from different backgrounds.
Yeah. So I have classmates from 18 to 30 something, having kids, and then they just wanted to start a new life in Norway and taking a new education. So it's very flexible, and I don't think age should be a thing that is stopping you from learning or changing your career or your direction.
Perfect. And we also received kind of a few questions just about the scholarship. So will all the information will be available online as well to consult?
Yes. For the scholarships, everything is online. The scholarships are merit-based, meaning that we look at your grades from high school. So it really, it's a way to attract, very bright students. So it's merit-based.
Perfect. We also have some questions which are kind of specific. So someone is asking, how does it work if I have a diploma from Italy? Someone else is asking from around the country. So in terms of like the conversion and make sure they have all the documentation, will it still be the website the best place to find all the information?
Yes, and it's the web page, but there's no need to worry about this. There is instructions on how to upload your diploma, and we are used to receiving applications from all over the world, so we know how to deal with this. We do ask for translations.
Yeah, you have to have it in English.
You have to have it in English. But other than that, you don't need to worry just because your diploma is from another country. That's the whole point. The BBA program is supposed to be international, and there are people from all over the world enrolled in the program.
Perfect. Now there is another question, is about, maybe it's not a relevant question, but do I have to learn language or am I okay with my English?
Well, I can share my perspective in that as a Norwegian, and then Amanda
Yeah.
can answer as
International,
as an
yeah.
international student. Norwegians, they start to learn English from a very young age, from when we are 6 years old. So in general, for everyday life, you don't really need English. Need Norwegian. Everybody speaks really good English, and you will be understood even by kids. But if you're thinking of relocating to Norway and you're thinking of starting a career here, I do advise students that they do some Norwegian courses, just so because I think a lot of culture is in the language. I think you understand much more of society, and I think that you don't lose out on things. So I think it's a good thing to try to learn the language, but it's not a must for some companies that you know the language. But I think just showing that you're interested and then you're trying and that you speak some Norwegian, some basic Norwegian, I think that is an advantage when you're looking for a job. At BI, we do offer Norwegian courses, so
It's very cheap.
on campus, and they're cheap.
I mean, compared
Relative-
to outside, it's very cheap. Yes.
Compared to other courses, yeah, they're relatively cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have different levels,
Mhm.
and they're and you do them on campus, so it's quite convenient as well.
Yes. So my experience is I came to Norway without knowing any Norwegian, and I think for the first year I joined this BI courses from starting from scratch, A1 level. It works, I guess. I mean, you get to learn the basics, and then you take it at school with all the other students, exchange students, full-time students who are interested in learning Norwegian. But then later on, I decided to learn outside of school. Like, I didn't take the BI program. I decided to go outside and then continue learning by myself. But then I think they appreciate, like, when you go to an interview or when you meet a Norwegian, they appreciate that at least you're trying. They see that you are putting in an effort trying to blend into this society, trying to make an effort to show that you are willing to learn and willing to try. I think that's the most important thing. It doesn't matter how fluent you are. Of course, if you are fluent in Norwegian, it will give you a lot more opportunities, but just for Norwegian's employee or like Norwegian who you just met, they already appreciate that you're trying to get to know their culture, get to know their language. So I think showing that is the most important thing. Yeah. And then how fluent you are, it also depends on how much time and effort you put in and how good you are with language in general. So it's not controlled by me and then controlled by you. So it's a lot of your effort and talent a little bit, I guess. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We're actually coming towards the end of our presentation, but I still wanted to ask if there is, I mean, we talked about a lot, we talked about the courses, the opportunities, scholarships, and the life at BI. I just wanted to ask you if there is anything else that you feel you want to share with us tonight before saying goodbye to the audience for the presentation.
I think, I want to thank them for taking the time to participate. You're very welcome to contact us and reach out if you want to talk to current students, to hear them share more about their student experience. We are going to be arranging a lot of webinars, an open day where you can, see the campus. So please, contact us if you have any questions, and we're here to help you and answer your questions as best as we can.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Then just before leaving, we just wanted to ask you guys if you think that this event was useful. Of course, after this event, we will be sharing with you some extra information. We will be sharing with you the recording so you can actually have a look at it like over the next few days. And we will also be sharing some extra information. We can see on the screen that you contact Impact BI for any question that you might have. Perfect. That's great. I can actually see that the majority of you thought that this was useful, which is very good for us. And we are glad. And I'd like to thank you guys for being with us tonight, and I also like to thank Wafa and Amanda for their time. And we look forward to seeing you back next time at the BI Norwegian Business School webinar. Thank you so much, and have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.